Chair Gilmore, assuming that you do believe that climate change is an issue, and if you don't, please say so, what do you think the city of Santa Clarita could do to help with that problem?
First of all, it's basically a county problem, or not a county problem, but it's a county issue. And I believe that the city council should have enough control and enough power to be able to go to the people, the authorities, and tell them that we need to look into this in our city. Climate control is a problem. I've seen the weather change. Whatever the weather was 10 years ago, today it's a whole different type of system. I don't know how else to answer it, but I do find it to be a problem.
Thank you.
Next question.
My name is Mike Oliver. I live in Canyon Country. You said you live in Canyon Country. My question is as you know, except for Tim Ben, the council just votes together. They never do anything for Canyon Country. What do you think you can change by yourself when we have at least 3 people for 20 years running the city that doesn't want to plant trees in Canyon Country? You stop at Sand Canyon, but I live at Shadow Pines. Take another walk up and see there's no trees left.
Well, actually, I used to live on Florida Park Street.
Yeah, all our trees are gone for the, I was asking Rick, but my question is what's your way to work with the 3 people that have been there for, what we're in the city right now, in my opinion, is we need city term limits. Unfortunately, we can't get nothing done. You're saying you want to change it, but how can you change it when you say Canyon Country? When you say, I want to change Canyon Country and get things done, what's your main way of doing that when we've lived for 20 years and nothing's gotten done?
Answer the question now, please.
That was it. To get a majority of 3, you make them a deal that they can't refuse or you break the right. My card's in the back, and one of the things that's on my card is amenities for Canyon Country. As I mentioned before, Canyon Country has been neglected, always has been, and it is today. It needs more amenities. You've got to make everybody understand. First of all, the voice of the people is what is important. We get enough people, and I'll give you an example. I'm a vice president of the Homeowners Association, and we had a situation happen where finally we got all these homeowners to show up. And it made a difference because the rest of the board saw something the way I saw it and voted the way that I was going to vote. And that's what the city needs. The city needs people to show up to city council meetings and to address the concerns and to say, this is what we need. We live in Canyon Country, you need to do something. Downtown Newhall, I remember downtown Newhall when I was on a committee 20 years ago trying to revive it, and downtown Newhall was terrible. Today it's beautiful. You go down on Main Street and you've got the library, you've got nice restaurants, we got a great theater there now. You don't have to go to Anaheim or someplace like that to see a great stage production. I remember it used to be up on Sierra Highway if you wanted to see something. Now we have it downtown. So we need the same thing in Canyon Country that they did in Newhall. And we need to put money in Canyon Country. Okay.
With due respect, I've never seen you at a city council meeting, so I have no idea what makes you think that you can just come down and file to run for city council. When I have no idea who you are or what your views are. We have 3 city council people sitting on the dais right now, and they haven't done anything about city council. So by putting you up there, how's that going to change it?
Well, first of all, I'm a founding father of the city. Way back when the city was being discussed, I joined the formation committee. I worked very hard. I put my own money into the foundation and to further advance getting everything out to the people so they can vote, so we would have city government. I have, in fact, I've been at a lot of the council meetings. I don't get up there all the time and say anything. When I do go to the council meetings, I take the agenda in the back, I read it. I try to find out what's on before I go there, if it's something I want to address. But I don't really get up there and talk a lot. But I do go to the city council meetings. I've been very active at the city. I was on the open space committee not too long ago, where the idea, if you're not familiar with it, is to buy land around the city so that developers cannot develop on it. So I've been on transportation committees, both for the city, and I've been on the transportation committee for the Chamber of Commerce. So I've been very active. I was on the Hillside and Ridgeline committee with the city, which was to fight developers from building on top of our mountains, the corner of Sierra and Soledad. What do we have there? If you remember, that went all the way down to the street. And so we fought so they would stop chopping off the tops of our mountains and our hills and building. So that's another thing going on.
Speaking of that, could you address the issue also of development within the city, how you feel about having all of these large housing projects with thousands of units, and when we, as someone else said, have a limited amount of water?
I hate it. Very simple. I hate the idea that it seems like every place you turn, every place you go, you see development going on. Unfortunately, we have a lot of areas that are outside of the city, it's county. The county is not going to do they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to build houses. But I used to drive on, I still do, I do on Newhall Ranch Road. I remember that when they first opened it, I would drive on that. I'd get from, and at the time I was teaching at Banquet High School, I could travel from the beginning of Newhall Ranch Road all the way to Banquet High School in a little over 5 minutes. Now I teach at Saugus, it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get there. And why is that? Because we've got development everywhere on both sides of the street. And unfortunately, when you're driving down the street and you've got 20 cars going this way and 20 cars going this way, you've got one car coming out of the development, and that means these lights are red, and everybody has to sit there while this one person decides to go. And now they've gone, and now you still have to sit there and wait until that light turns green. It's all because of development. It also deals with synchronizing lights. So I really don't like the idea of all the developments going on, and it's everywhere. And the city has to have some control. The city, within the city limits, the city can't say, that's it. We're at capacity, no more. Or it's got to be completely planned to the point where it's not overwhelming, huge developments.
Any question?
Yes.
You said you said that you have attended a lot of city council meetings. I haven't seen you either. Maybe you've been sitting in the back of things, but I'm just curious where you've stood on some of the more controversial issues that have come across the city council in the past couple of years. For example, digital billboards, the library, and maybe Lindley. Just comment on each of those.
What was the third thing?
The Lindley Theater project.
Okay. The library, I had mixed emotions about it. One of the things that I had a problem with was taking what was once known as Sacramento Road and turning it into Newhall Road. And I felt sorry for all the businesses and all the people down there because they all had to change their letterheads and their business cards and put all that money in, but they weren't paid back for it. The library is a beautiful place now. The theater, I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you, whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. I just have not brought about an opinion on that. And I forget what the second thing was.
Digital billboards.
Billboards. I'm against it. I don't like the idea of billboards. At one time, I remember driving down Sacramento Road and so forth, you had billboards everywhere. I mean, it's just completely out of control. All billboards, particularly the digital, should not be within the city. I'm against it.
I had Two quick questions. One, what do you teach?
I teach architectural interior design.
Okay. And two, one of the problems I see is that LA County, you know those two letters I said before? It's full of BS, and I know that they do things that the city doesn't like and that we don't like. Do you have ideas how to get along better with them, or to have better influence with them to handle the development, the roads, the other things that we don't have that direct ability to change?
Well, right now, I think we do have a good rapport with Mike Antonovich. Problem is the other supervisors. Everybody's concerned about their own district. So what Mike Antonovich is concerned about in Santa Clarita, the other people are not. They're more concerned about their districts. And of course, Mike Antonovich is not as concerned about their district as he is his, which is ours. So I think if you have enough power within the city to sit down with these people and try to make contact with them, try to talk to them, which can be done. There's nothing like good talk amongst people to get issues taken care of and ironed out. It can be done. Everybody at the city council, for the most part, has the ability and has the means to make contact directly with a county supervisor or a judge or the mayor of the city or anything like that. They do have that ability.
The other question that I had asked earlier regarding the sanitation district and chloride limitations, how do you feel about the chloride issue and the disposal options that are available to the city?
They've been making this an issue for such a long period of time, and again, I have to tell you, I'm not 100% abreast to all the particulars about it. It's just an issue that it's like the people that live up in Piru and in that area there. We had a problem with them about the water that was going on. Now we have the same one with what you're talking about. So I really, I'm not totally abreast to that at this point. I'm sorry to say.
Next question. 2 minutes. At least one more question. We have time for it. Hello? Anybody? I can't ask a question. I'm mother.
How do you feel about Chiquita Canyon? Do you think Chiquita Canyon should be expanded?
It should be shut down. It's at capacity. It should be shut down.
Where should the trash go?
LA.
What's your option?
Trash should go to LA.
LA?
Yeah.
Well, can you be more specific than LA?
Mesquite.
Mesquite.
Okay.
So no, I'm dead against it.
So you don't have an option?
I don't have an option. It's like anything. You have to study all these. Just like the Ellesmere, that went on year after year. And the study that went on, that was astronomical. So I am against the Chiquita thing. I mean, they're at capacity. My feeling is it should be closed. Can the city council do anything about it? City council can talk to the authorities and get to the county supervisors on this.
How do you feel about a homeless shelter? You're about a homeless shelter and panhandling.
Panhandling against, particularly if it's overly aggressive. I have a problem with the panhandling. A homeless shelter, it's a very delicate subject. Many years ago when I was in college, I did a paper on homelessness and senior citizens. And I found some interesting things about people who were homeless. And some people that were homeless were doctors and lawyers. And I found out why they ended up homeless and on the street. So in a way, I have more compassion for homeless people. Do we house them here? Possibly. How many people? It's hard to say.
Thank you.